That's right, guys. In today's episode, I'm going to be building an F1 track. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great. So be sure you stick to the end and let's get started. Now, obviously, the first thing to do when building an F1 track is actually finding where to build it. So I was thinking of this green area here just because it's a really large area and also it's quite flat. So this should be the perfect place to actually get a start on the build. And obviously, the next thing is just to decide which F1 track to build. Now, since there are so many different tracks and they're all great in their own ways, it was really hard for me to decide. So that's kind of why I went with the iconic Silverstone. It's simple, easy to build, and is also just a fan favorite. And looking at IRL photos of Silverstone, I think I can definitely do this in Minecraft. Now, as you can see, I am where we are going to be building Silverstone, but it's in the creative world. And the reason is because what's the point of building an F1 circuit if you don't have an F1 car? So actually, before building the Silverstone circuit, I'm going to be using a mod called Trackwork to build the F1 cars and just get the dimensions right so I can actually know how big to build the roads. So with that being said, let's get into the time lapse of me trying to build an F1 car in Minecraft. Okay, this is how the F1 car turned out, and I'm really happy with how it looked. So I was trying to go for like a 2014 or 2016 F1 car, and like I was trying to put the Mercedes colors on. But yeah, here's what it looks like, and it looks actually surprisingly good. Now we can lower the suspension a bit, we'll do that later. But right now, we actually need to fit this with the engine because we can move this with the ship helm because it's a physics entity, but it goes really slow. Like this is, yeah, it's not gonna work. So what we need to do is literally just stuff an engine into the back here somehow. And give redstone power and rotational power to all four of the wheels, or actually just the ones on the back, because that would be much more easier. And then redstone power will go to these front wheels for steering. So if I get a redstone block, you can see what I mean. So if I just place it onto the wheel, it turns like that. So yeah, it has to be on top of the wheel, and I think we'll do that with link controllers, so not too complicated. But yeah, as you can see, so if I power the left one, it turns left. I power the right one, obviously it turns right. So that's really convenient. Now before we get started, we do have a lot of engine choices to work with, but you know, keeping up with the theme of this being a 2014 2016 car, I think we need to use the gasoline engines, of course. Now it's two blocks. If I can get this right. Back part missing. Okay, I don't know how this works, so I'll need to learn how these engines work and also make room for a fuel tank as well. So this might be more complicated than I thought, so let's just get this done. Okay, I've got it to work. I've gotten it to work. So yeah, this engine is completely self-sustaining until gasoline obviously runs out. But anyway, the next thing to do is somehow fit this giant engine system into this car, which is gonna take a bit of tedious work, but honestly I think I can get it done, guys. And I'm gonna do that literally right now because I want to see this car move at light speed. That's gonna be super cool, especially when I build the track. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. Okay, I'm gonna do that right now, and I'll see you guys when the car is actually a car and moves. Okay, after a lot of engine configurations, I finally found on something that works. Yeah, the car is less of a car now because I had to completely remove the back and extend it out by one block, but everything does work. So the car does go forward, it can go backwards, it turns as well, which is really cool, and it also has a braking system. And here's what the car looks like, fully covered up and completed. So obviously there's a bit of parts exposed, but that's fine, honestly. And I did make the spoiler one block bigger, which just makes the car look way more aggressive and cool. But if I take a look underneath, you can see how compact I had to make it. So yeah, it did take me quite a while, but obviously I got it done. And if I actually come into the driver's seat, I can actually drive the car, and this is what it looks like when you're inside the actual cockpit. And here's the third person view, so it looks really good and really cool. And the turning radius is actually manageable, so I don't have to make the track as big as I thought it have to be. Anyway, with the car being done, all that's left to do now is actually build the track and, you know, get the dimensions right. So let's get to work on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off by giving myself this area to work with here. Now I don't know how big the F1 track is gonna be, but I think this should be definitely enough space because I want to be doing a bunch of other things like building the crew pit lanes, also like, you know, some sponsorships and like, you know, a large viewing area where you can watch the entire circuit. So it's not just gonna be the track, it's gonna be everything else with the track as well. Well, this track turned out way bigger than I expected it to be, but I'm not complaining. It looks good. It genuinely looks good. Now, the next thing I want to work on is the pit lanes itself, and that's kind of the reason why I developed this entire corner here, just to give it a better transition into the pit lane. So I'm going to hop into a creative world because this is the part I'm super excited about, and let's see what I can do there. Now, looking at some reference photos, I am getting a good idea on how the pit lane should look like. The building part is simple in itself, and you know, the garages. Only thing that's going to be slightly complicated is the roof, but I think that should be fine. So let me get a start on the base plate and how this should look like and get it to scale. So here's what the pit lane looks like along with the actual pits itself, but I did come across an issue I didn't realize until just now, and that is the pits have to be aligned with the pit road, but if the pit road is at an angle, that means the pits have to be at an angle, and that's going to look super weird in a build. So to get over that issue, I literally just turned it into a physics entity and then put it on a bearing, and that's literally the simplest solution to a problem I've ever had in this game, so I'm quite happy with that. So the next thing to do with the actual pits itself is to divide it up into 20 different garages because there's 10 teams and then 2 drivers each. Yeah, I mean, I'm just using reference photos from what I'm seeing right now, but yeah, I mean, let's get a start on it. Honestly, I don't know why I'm waiting so much. I'm so excited to build this. So let me just turn this back into a normal entity and get a start on the build. Well, here's a quick update on the build so far, and I'm really happy with how it looks like because it looks exactly like the reference images. And also, you can see here's where the drivers will stand after the race, so nice little details here. But I did say I was going to turn this into a physics entity and then angle it along with the road, but I don't think that's happening just due to the sheer size of it. I don't know what's up with me in this episode and underestimating how big things are going to be, but yeah, this is way too big to turn into a physics entity. It's going to cause too much lag, so we're not going to do that. And also, since we're not going to turn into a physics entity, it allows me to make things like elevators. So here I made an elevator to take me to the 2nd and 3rd floor. So as you can see, elevator comes down, I can go in, put the 2nd floor. You know how elevators work. This is the create mod, of course. You would never see me do this in vanilla because it's like, you know, it's the create mod. You can do this stuff. So yeah, we're on the 2nd floor now. So I think all that's left to do is obviously decorate the entire track like how I did in this corner across the entire circuit. Decorate this entire office area because I think this is going to be office spaces. I'm not sure. I'll do some research on that. And obviously the last thing we need to do is get the F1 car and race this bad boy, because what's the point of having this big giant circuit if you're not going to have an F1 car to race it on? So let's get in the last time lapse of this video and I'll see you when I'm done. Yeah, this F1 car is so cool to drive around a dedicated track. This is just amazing, guys. It is a bit slow, but I will try and figure out how to change that in the configs sometime in the future. But as you can see, I have no items in my inventory because I had to make a copy of the world because replay mod would just refuse to load in with this entity. And that's not the only issue. So while actually building the track, this was a day ago, my ship just disappeared, and I had to spawn in a new one, and I lost all my items. I lost all my ores, my diamonds, and everything. So I have no items, but hey, at least I got an F1 car, am I right? Anyway, I'm super happy to say I can finally end this video with a functioning F1 car and Silverstone fully built out as well. Now, if you guys want the builds to the F1 car and the track and everything, let me know if I should make a Patreon for you guys. That way you can also support the channel even more, which will be greatly appreciated. And also I can add builds like my ship and anything else from previous episodes because you have done a lot. But anyway, with that being said, I think it's the perfect time to end the episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Let's go! I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away,